Hi, this is Lisa from the Hashknife Ranch.
Yay.
Yay! Welcome to In the Chute. This is Brandon. That's Kaylin. And Kaylin's going to ask us a question.
Tell us a question.
We all use hands around here. So what I have to ask from you is what's it like to host people on the ranch? For example, all right, honestly, we've had friends come visit. It's not so hard. Maybe sometimes an inconvenience, but it's not hard. We're looking towards agritourism, so it means now we're gonna get strangers coming. This upcoming week or so, we should have people visiting for branding. That's been kind of in the works for about 6 months, 7 months now, maybe even
Longer,
longer.
almost a year.
I remember helping you with that, and then we even well, not recently, but it was probably we're looking now May, probably about 10 months ago, 8, 10 months ago, we had somebody from TikTok who I saw on TikTok and I reached out to them. They wanted to experience Montana and what it's like to be on a real ranch. So we had that individual come over. So that was the first time we've ever had anybody really, truly, completely not acquaintance like ever before really come to the ranch and spend some time. So I just wanted to say, what are some things that you're learning from using, friends and family now, people who we're unfamiliar with that we're using towards not only safety and security for them, safety and security for us, also while trying to educate, inform, and demonstrate things about the ranch. What are some of the cool things about hosting people on the ranch? What are some of the more challenging things as well?
So it's always fun to meet new people, especially kind of find out about their world because
Yeah.
our world's pretty small. Um, Ours is all about, what happens on the land and surrounding area and what work needs to be done. Um, So that's what I really enjoy about it because you do meet a lot of really interesting people, really cool people.
Right.
Um, we also had a visitor this summer that was connected to our good friend Connie, and she came, but she had her own accommodations when she
Mm-hmm.
came. I think the most challenging is, and this is regardless of whether you're good friends, your family, or you're not related. When you visit somewhere, it's nice to have your own private space. And we don't have that currently. We have an area that is somewhat set off from the living area, but it's still not private. And so we are doing or planning to do some remodel on the house. And part of that was to make more of a suite situation where it would allow people more privacy and maybe also assist in that kind of security thing. We've also talked about having a cabin. We've got the building. We just need to get it in place and the uh, electricity and sewer water connected to it. That I think would be ideal because then you could actually have it set up to, you've got some bagels, scones, coffee kind of thing in their area so that they're able to kind of do their own morning routine and have their own space too. So I think that's the big challenge is giving people a sense of security and comfort that they don't feel like they're invading your space and that you're not invading them. The other challenge is food. I want to feed people. The kitchen is in need of remodel and makes it hard to be able to make the amounts of food and what you want to do. So when we have that remodel done, that'll be nice. Same reason, just it'll make things easier, I think, and more comfortable.
Well, in the remodeling on the houses, it's due. It's nobody's done
It's
anything with it since it was built.
45 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it does need some work. So
It's it's a nice house. It was well built.
it's very modest, but
It needs
it
an
is,
upgrade.
yeah.
And so we want to make the kitchen rather than a 1970s functional kitchen, we want to make it more of an entertaining kitchen where it is actually better
That's
when
where
you
you end
have
up anyway.
when you have large groups of people, like branding, you know You have everything set out on the countertop, the buffet style. That's much easier with those groups of 20 plus. I think the other challenge is with food, making sure you're fixing something that's palatable to the people. And of course, we always ask if anybody has allergies or things
dietary
like that.
restrictions of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah. I always ask for that. I know I had an uncle that passed away several years ago that had heart issues. And so he had decided to go vegan, wasn't it?
So he claimed.
And so
Until he tried Grandpa's prime rib.
Right.
and so we invited him out for prime rib. And I said, well, what are your
Well,
restrictions?
it was for Christmas.
It was for
Yeah,
Christmas. It was for Christmas. Yeah.
and
holiday.
Easter and
And-
Thanksgiving. We
And,
invited.
and I would ask always, okay, what are your dietary restrictions? Oh, it's okay if I have a little of this, as long as I'm not eating it all the time. So, all right. But I mean, I really try to make sure that we don't give somebody something that they just can't handle or they just really don't like.
Well, he said he didn't like to eat meat, and the next thing you know, he's eating a chunk of meat
He is
the
pretty,
size of everybody else.
he
Got a
was an instant convert.
22-ounce
Yeah.
prime rib. Yeah.
So those are probably the big challenges, and the fact that we are not, it's not set up the way I want it to be. So it's like, well, come on in, but you know,
It's stressful for you.
it is a little stressful because it's not exactly how I'd like it set up. And so it's not, the house is not set up for entertainment and for people to come in and out. We hope that that will be the case. Probably the last thing that I worry about is the dogs, because the dogs are a big part of our family and our life, and they are with us all the time. Not everybody is
Dog friendly.
as dog friendly. And so, you know, I try to be conscientious of that. And so the dogs it'll be like, okay, guys, you got to go outside because, you know, we got people. And then maybe introduce them one at a time, if it's right. But those are the things I worry about, I guess.
And we didn't start out to
And
remodel
safety.
or do anything for agritourism.
No.
It was for, you know, if somebody
Family.
needs to stay for a while
Yeah.
or, you know, whatever. And this is kind of
Been
a way
side
to,
effect.
yeah, side
Yeah.
effect. And like, well, what if we did this? Would it make it easier if this was something that in the future got to be more and more? Now,
Well, and it just makes sense too, because there's been times where we've had larger parties just visit in general for clinics or
Right.
something.
or
And
stay for 4 or
Dunroven being
5
a great
days week.
example of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people being
Yeah.
there extended stays. So yeah, it is something that just like, you know, it's an easier add-on to what we're already
Right.
planning
Right.
on doing.
Yeah, because we've had friends come and stay for a week.
Yeah.
Longer.
Which
and
is a lot of fun. Or when now you guys are away from the house, when you come home,
if you have your own
you got
kind
your
of
own place to
suite
stay. Yeah.
area,
Right.
that'd be nice.
You know, and if you're bringing significant others, then, you know, you don't want to be stuck in, you know, same room or adjoining rooms. I mean, having a nice kind of a area where you got your own shower facilities, toilet, bedroom.
Right.
It's nice. So it's kind of helped us guide our remodeling towards that. Mom, that's all of the creature comfort stuff that mom thinks of and takes care of. My side of it, I tend to not work them like they would expect. I have a hard time with a guest because generally
It's funny because they do ask. They're like, "Hey, can you just, you know, I want to work with you."
Right. And I find it, I was doing things with the one gentleman that came, Carlos, was great to be here. A lot of fun. He was looking for a lot of advice of how do I get started?
Right.
So there was a lot of that you can't really talk about by doing because you're in the middle of kind of a maintenance issue. But, you know, we were out laying mineral out for cows that needed it at the time and checking cattle and, you know, did a little bit of feeding, that kind of stuff. So it was all necessary, but we weren't pounding posts or building any fence at the time,
Really should have.
which is what,
I
you know, a
think
lot of people
everybody
think
probably wants to do that.
yeah,
when
they want to
come
do that
visit.
for a day and then they figure out how tough it is.
How hard it is.
Maybe
They
an
might
hour.
leave early. Yeah. Sorry, we can't stay for supper. Don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Bye, toodles. You know. So, I think I need to probably do that a little bit more. Is like not be quite so,
accommodating in that sense.
accommodating and more of a host, but of the, okay, here you are, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
show you what this is about. So that's my fault, and I need to do things a little differently and have a little different mindset for that.
Yeah. Well, we're learning as we go. So
Yeah.
hopefully one day we'll be a destination or a
We are
pit
a
stop for
destination
people.
now.
Yeah. Or a pit
Easy
stop
to
for people
find.
on their way to Great Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that, like the 2 dot bar? We're easy to find and hard to leave.
Yeah, there you go. So with that, we'll take that conversation and put it out to pasture.